All right, welcome back, and this is going to be the latest thing we're going to take a look at. An old Kenwood Integrated Amplifier, model KA-500, from sometime around the early 80s, I would think, somewhere in that time period. And this comes basically as just a project to do while we're waiting for parts for the Yamaha CR2040. I picked this up from my friend's shop. He's been in business about 35 years, and of course, over that span of time, there's been a lot of things that have been abandoned or junked at his shop. And I was digging through a pile of equipment and noticed this amplifier and thought it'd be a good one for a video project. There was an invoice taped to the top of it, but unfortunately it had been sitting in the sun so long, all of the text was bleached right off of it. So we have no information about this, whether an estimate was ever completed on it, what was wrong with it, was it refused, or just don't know, don't have any information. So we'll be finding out together what's going on with this. So I think we'll get set up for some internal shots, have a look around on the inside, then from that point, hook up some speakers and a source to it and see if we can find out what's going on with it. So give me a chance to get set up for that, and we'll come back and have a look.
You can hear my soul refrain. Educate, it's the only way. Feel the blood rush to my brain. It won't fade away. It gets me through the day, and I am so alive. I've told you, it's the dopamine that gets me high. That dopamine connects me. It's the dopamine I can rely. That dopamine reflects me. And if you ask me why I feel this way, I know just where I'm going. And it is just because I have no say, and there's no way of
All right, coming back in now, having a look at the front of this thing. There's really not that much to look at. It's very basic. Basically got provisions for 4 inputs, phono, tuner, auxiliary, and tape. It's pretty basic tone controls, bass and treble, balance, loudness, and a muting. A mic mixing input there. And then I assume volume up and volume down is electronic in this, maybe? Got your set of power meters, and they're saying that this guy's about 80 watts. And coming up over the top. $4560, I'm assuming that's going to be the phono preamp IC. Motorola MC14066, that's switching. I guess they needed an IC to switch right and left independently. TC4027. More switching on, I guess. And as for the amplifier, that looks pretty basic. What do we got for outputs here? Like Sanken 2SC 2578. Some light down there. Another 2SC 2578. Okay, I guess they're all 2578. So NPNs, this is another quasi-complementary design. Not much happening in the power supply. Did notice this though. Let's flip this around. And I assume that this is going to have to be part of the volume control. So maybe the volume control is on a slider, and this is somehow linked to it with like a tuning dial string or something that moves it back and forth. It's kind of interesting. I guess this would have been before they were able to incorporate the motor into the back of the rotary control. And there's our 4558 op amp. Got a couple of transistors mounted on the back of the heatsink. I assume for the power supply. This thing is definitely dirty. There ain't no doubt about that. Says 5 amp fuses. I don't know, that looks a little heavy, but we'll have to look into that and see. Pretty standard Nippon caps, 6800 at 50 volt. Let's have a look at the back of it. Options for a wired remote control. DIN connection for your tape deck if so equipped. And one thing I found odd is there's only one provisions for one set of speakers. I assume speaker fuses maybe? Yeah, I don't know. This is definitely interesting. I'm definitely wanting to find out what this is all about. I got to assume it's got to be for the volume control. So let me have a minute here. I'm going to get some speakers hooked up to it. Let's get an input into it, and let's find out what's working and what's not working. So give me a minute and I'll come back. All right, coming back in, and after having checked through the fuses, because I thought those may have looked a little heavier than 5 amps. They are fine. Ran all the outputs, no shorts. No shorts in any of the diodes in the power supply. Fired it up, and this is what we got. And it is motorized. A little closer look down in there and you can see definitely that there's a dial string, kind of like a tuning dial string that's connected to all that. Can't see much of it, but you can make it out that that's what it is. Just like kind of a tuning dial. So I don't know, it's working. I guess we can check all the inputs and make sure all the inputs is working, but I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with it. Don't look like there's anything wrong with it. Let's do this song. I like this one. All right, so that's the auxiliary. Let's do tuner. Let's see if tuner works. I'm out tape. We'll leave the tape on and just tap the phono. Yeah, it's distorted. It's there. Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe tap around on it and see if it's tap sensitive. Maybe it's tap sensitive. All right, let's pop the bottom off of it. All right, we'll put the camera on top of the magnifier and just have a look at the board. Maybe something's loose. I don't know. I mean, it looks to me like there's been some resoldering work done right there. Right in this area right here. That doesn't look factory to me, so I don't know. But the thing is that's not, that's kind of over on the right side of the board. It's not in the left side where the power supply is. Not that there couldn't be a loose connection developed there. I'm just saying that, I don't know, it doesn't, it looks like it's been touched up, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking that maybe, possibly, what could have been the deal is maybe there was a loose connection there, and that's what the problem was. Looks like it was resoldered right next to that muting switch. Maybe there was a loose connection or something there, and the tech fixed it. Called the guy, and the guy said, no, junk it, I don't want it fixed. And so it was left fixed, I guess. There's a hole right there. I wonder, there's a hole right here. I wonder if there's supposed to be a light right there. I would imagine there is. Yes, there is. Yeah, there's an LED there. Surely that thing wasn't brought in for repair for the LED being bad in it. There is no way. Yeah, because when you mute it, that's supposed to light up, I bet. Well, I really want to see that volume control setup anyway. So let's take the face off of it. Let's get to where the LED is and get the LED replaced. If that is what the problem is, I'm going to assume it is. You know, before we do that, let's do a voltage check there. And make sure we got voltage for the LED. But first, let's check this out, man. This is it right here. This right here, absolutely Black Country Communion's best album. The second album, their best album, hands down. So let me see if I can find out where that LED is connected up at, and we'll put it into mute. And then from that point, we'll see if we can get a voltage check on it. All right, I'll check into that, and if I find out that there's something voltage-wise causing the LED not to work, then from that point we'll abandon removing the face and all that, and just focus on getting whatever's causing it not to work fixed. But if it is the LED, which is probably what I suspect, then we'll get the face off of it and we'll change the LED and have a look at that motorized volume assembly. So hang in there for that. I'll be back. All right, so what I basically did was I was pulling on the wires to try to get them freed up from the little harness that they're in. I wound up pulling the LED straight out of the front of it. But once I'd done that, I figured out it started working, and so I didn't know if there's some kind of a connection issue or anything like that in there. So I redressed them, and seems to be fine. So let's take a look at this motorized volume control, man. This is pretty much just what we were thinking. You got your motor and a little gear assembly, and your dial cord wraps around this, comes over here and connects with a spring to the volume control. So when you hit volume up, the motor moves, obviously, the switch in the right direction. And it just wraps around this little pulley and then makes its way back. Pretty much just like a dial string. Only if you had to redo this, it doesn't look like it would be quite as elaborate. But if this ever breaks, you are totally boned. You got no way to control your volume. All right, let's check this out right here. All right, let's get the face back on, and I think we'll blow it out, wipe it out, blow it out with the compressor, and put it back together. Other than that LED, I don't see anything going on here. This thing seems to be working just fine, so I guess we'll have to put it in observation for a while and run it and see what happens, but I don't know, it looks like it's okay to me, so give me a minute, we'll get the front back together and we'll do a final play test on it. All right, coming back in now. Got our face put back on. Got the unit blowed out. The compressor looks good on the inside. Cabinet's very nice and clean. And now that the light is repaired, of course, we get the nice muting light shining through the front. And that motorized volume control thing is just the coolest thing. Very precise, man. Very precise. It's very cool. I don't know. Maybe there was nothing wrong with it and it was just abandoned at his shop. So I guess the next time I'm looking for something broke, I'll probably need to do some kind of preliminary check to make sure it is broke. But it's a very cool old integrated amplifier, and will be up for sale. Not much to it, but pretty nice. Fairly loud. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed the non-repair on the KA-500 Integrated Amplifier by Kenwood. And we should have the parts in for the Yamaha CR2040 for next week's project, so we can get that completed. But thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you next time.